Okay, so this is my presentation on Derek Bell's PTSD. This is an example of the kind of thing I'm looking for. All right, start. Where do I start? Okay, all right, so my essay was on Derek Bell. He's a football player and a coach, and he got PTSD from being abused as a child. Reminder, mine's on PTSD, not aggression. So my explanation from the nature side was that maybe his PTSD came from having a hyper-responsive amygdala. And I used a study that showed veterans and non-veterans, and they had hyper-responsive amygdala that was linked with their PTSD symptoms. So that was my evidence. But there's a big problem with that study because the veterans already had PTSD. So how do we, it's like a chicken or the egg. How do we know that the amygdala caused the PTSD when they've already got the PTSD when they do the brain scan? Maybe they develop PTSD and that caused them to have a hyper-responsive amygdala. So we're not sure if that was the cause, or maybe the amygdala was the effect. Right, so that was the first limitation I found in my study. My nurture explanation was social support, and there's a quote there from Bell that said he didn't, at the time that he was a kid, no one really understood this stuff and he didn't have any social support, and that's a risk factor for PTSD. But again though, there could be this could be explained in the other direction, that actually social support might not be a cause of PTSD, it could be the effect. Because one symptom of PTSD is avoidance, but if you avoid lots of people, then there's going to be no one there to support you. So do we say he didn't have social support and that's why he got PTSD? Maybe he had the symptom of avoidance of PTSD and then that's why there was no one around to help him. So again we go, is the social support the cause of the PTSD or is it the result of the PTSD? And then ultimately, I concluded that it was probably going to be an interaction, and we know this, that the hyper-responsive amygdala, while not linked to low social support, it is linked to abuse in childhood. So we've got this nurture element, and I had to make up some details about his study because I couldn't find anything on him in his childhood. Don't do that, I just did that for the except part. Maybe it was abuse, which caused a hyper-responsive amygdala, and then that's what caused PTSD, and in this way, it's an interaction. Finished.